to take some cake home as well.
I'll be more than happy to stay.
Okay, all right, wonderful. All right, thank you so much. All right, with that, we'll move on to our village engineer, Greg Brewer.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Later on the agenda, item 5 in business, there's the voting on the adoption of the watershed development ordinance. There were 94 amendments to the ordinance that passed July 10th. Most of them were actually definition or clarification or administrative type changes. There are just a couple that are of any real substance. One of them changes the mitigation threshold for wetlands from a quarter acre to a 1/10 of an acre, so it's a tool to preserve more wetlands. Also allows for detention to be used in low quality wetlands in some instances. Probably the biggest change is there's a runoff volume reduction requirement. So basically any new development that takes place is required to promote infiltration on their sites, which will actually, instead of just volume control through detention ponds, we're also supposed to put in rain gardens, things of that nature, to try to promote more infiltration into the soil and not just rate runoff control. And then finally, floodplain requirements were actually amended to be consistently in line with the FEMA regulations. So that way the folks at FEMA don't have to sift through everybody's building code. As long as it's in Lake County, we're all adopting the same FEMA standards that are consistent with their requirements. Another item is as far as the motor fuel tax, spoke with Peter Baker. They actually, quite frankly, should have been out there by now with the work. Try to make contact with them. I haven't heard from them, so I'm try to get them out there next week for sure. Water tower painting, the bids are due Friday, 9/21. Base bid includes sandblasting the entire exterior of the tower and then painting it. In the interior, we are just spot blasting just those areas that are rusted, and then we are actually painting the entire interior also. There are a couple of alternates that you are going to have to consider when it goes to the board. One is to provide a sandblasting containment, which basically is a tent around the entire water tower for when they're sandblasting it. And the second is we included in there an alternate bid for an extended 10-year warranty. The base bid includes a 2-year contractor warranty and a 5-year manufacturer's warranty. One maybe issue with that is that if it goes to the manufacturer's warranty, they're always going to blame the contractor as far as means and methods. So as for an alternate bid, we have a 10-year bonded warranty. We'll see if there are any contractors who will actually fill that out. Hopefully they will, and then we'll have a decision to make if that extended warranty is going to be worth the money. Any questions?
I don't know what the 10-year warranty on
It's actually 5 years, and that's a standard warranty, and then we're bidding a 10-year warranty that's from the contractor and the manufacturer and backed up by a performance bond.
The cost of the tent around, what would that add to this?
We'll see, but I think it's in the neighborhood of $30,000 to $50,000. So it's an option.
It's an option because the question is if you go out there and look
it's not really close to the houses. The water tower is a little bit farther away.
Yeah. So the question is, do we really need a full tent?
Yeah, they are required to put tarps down to get whatever falls from the tower. So they will be covering all the playground equipment and everything else underneath.
Is there a time limit as to when this work is to be done? Because as it gets cooler, I imagine that it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it's specified for 45 days from the notice to proceed to get substantial completion in bid documents. So if we start October 1, for instance, November 15th, project's got to be done.
And they can paint as long as it's 50 degrees higher.
Correct.
But not,
Correct. Rick Lever would be more in line with that, but it has to do with the dew point. Also, you don't want any sweat on the, any water condensation on the tank. But it's more specifically tied to the dew point.
It's going to be close.
Close.
although painting during the drought time, I don't know would have been such a good thing either with extreme heat. That's not good for paint either.
Yeah, now's a good time with the, as far as from a water use standpoint, there's hardly any, there's no big water, so.
Yeah.
Well, the dew point's typically higher in the spring and summer than it is in the fall, regardless, so as long as it stays over 50, your dew point's lower. I think that's the problem we had last time, was the dew point was too high. Plus there was water in the tank.
It's either that or Greg's gonna get in the harvest with 2 rags washing over there.
One quick question I have, Greg, and this just came up to me right before the meeting, so I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but just something that you can look into tomorrow. Are you aware of any recent changes to IDOT's 2013 plan?
I am not.
Okay. Can you look into that?
Sure.
Okay. If we're all done, we'll move on to our village attorney, Jim Rack.
Thank you, Mayor Sutherland. It's been a relatively quiet couple of weeks since we last met, at least on the legal front. And the only thing I want to mention is tonight we have on the business section of the agenda a discussion of the Video Gaming Act and potential action by the board related to that act. If we prepared a memo for the board's perusal, that's in the packets.
Public Works Superintendent Jeff David.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week, I was down in Springfield. I attended the 16th Annual Emergency Management Agency Conference. A lot of good venues this year. There were just about 1,700 attendees at this event. First time I attended was in 1999. We had 350 attendees. So that's how much this has grown, especially with the September 11th events that have gone on. Emergency management is pretty serious business, I think, when you look at it. A couple of classes, there were so many breakout sessions, I couldn't get to them all. Every session that was there will be available online, the whole program, the PowerPoints, being that it's a state agency, they said probably around Thanksgiving. So
What year?
This year, that's what they're claiming.
That's pretty good about putting that kind of stuff online.
Yeah, it is. They don't actually give out handouts anymore. You used to get a big binder and you would have all the classroom materials in there. Now they're just trying to streamline or what have you. A couple of classes I did attend, I got certified again for the CPR and the AED through the American Red Cross. You have to be certified every 2 years. Pets and disaster. So if we have a severe weather event and everything's going, all of a sudden you've got dogs and cats and cows walking around all over Kingdom Come.
We're going to call Gary.
What do you mean? These are things that general public doesn't think about, but these are the things that they're trying to teach you. You need to have an established relationship with some type of animal hospital or a vet. How are you going to corral them? Where are you going to store them? How are you going to find the owners? I mean, we can go on until the end of time about this stuff. But again, everything will be available online. I'll be more happy to get the website address. Print out materials as necessary. It's very interesting stuff, and everybody should breeze through it if you have a chance. Public Works-wise, I'm going through, we are ready for the current or the upcoming ISO rating for the Grace Lake Fire Department. All our hydrants have been painted. The one that's on Hainesville Road will be repainted.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
That's what happens when I go on vacation. All of our hydrants are in working order. I've got the maintenance log completed and ready to hand in, so we should be good there. Weed control was put down last week, and unfortunately now the grass is growing like it should be in May. And I've lost my summer help. I don't have full-time help anymore, so I just have a couple of guys for half a day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so bear with us. I know some areas are getting a little tall. We're trying to chase it down as quick as we can. Another thing that I did talk to one of our vendors about is some tree trimming. Trustee Duberstein had left me a message. There are some trees that are hanging in front of stop signs and such. We had planned on trimming trees this year, but due to the drought and the stress that are on the trees, we ended up killing them. So he has said that now, within the next couple of weeks would be okay because there's some more rain in the forecast that's upcoming. To do some minor trimming, we really don't want to start doing any major type of trimming until next season. So I think we're going to lose quite a few trees over the winter time just from the stress. I hate to go through and trim all these things and then have to start plucking dead ones out. It's just, you know, it just wouldn't be good planning. So we will address the severe ones that, for public safety aspect, should be done in the next couple of weeks. And for now, that's my report. Thanks.
Building official, Russ Grayling.
Everybody should have my report. We did 24 permits last month, collected $1,875. Did a grand total of 80 inspections. That includes 50 violations and then 30 regular inspections. And on the second page, you got all the particulars of all the violations and the notices that were handed out. So we got a couple of properties cleaned up. We got some illegal things moved, and I think we're looking pretty good now.
EMA coordinator, Mike Echo.
September is Preparedness Month. Some of you are aware of that. I'd just like to stress again that you look into your personal preparedness for your family and yourself personally. I'm beating a dead horse this time when I tell you, please prepare 3 days of water and supplies. I'm going to keep saying that as long as I'm here. Also, our next meeting is October 4th at 7 p.m. We'll be discussing some preparedness planning for your personal self and or families. And I'd like to thank Jeff for attending the IEBA conference. I was unable to attend for employment reasons, and I got some good information out of that, and we'll probably discuss that too in October meeting.
Treasurer, Kelly Hensley.
Well, the majority of my items are listed under business, but I just did want to update the board. The credit card machine here at the Village Hall is down. We are working with the state to get another one. So right now, we cannot accept any credit cards here. We have offered to residents that come in to pay their utility bill that we can help them here doing it online, our village website, the e-pay system. So until I can foresee the credit card not receiving a new machine until early next week, so we get everything communicated. The other item is tomorrow, myself, the clerk, the mayor, and Public Works Superintendent will be attending a motor fuel tax seminar all day down in Schaumburg. Runs from 8:30 to 4. It's basically going to take us through motor fuel tax projects that fall under the authorized use of motor fuel tax. Motor fuel tax is a restricted fund. You have to approve it by the board for a project, then it has to go down to the state to approve to use those funds. So there's different forms, resolutions, so we're all going to get a crash course to go through this and
Get a better understanding
of
what you could use these for.
and how to use it. And that's it for now.
Okay, thank you. Our village clerk, Kathy Metzler.
Okay, we have a resident who's a senior at Grace Lake Central High School, Courtney Pastorelli. She's collecting socks for her Gold Award in Girl Scouts. The socks will be donated to PADS, which is a shelter for the homeless in Lake County. There's a permanent drop box out in the foyer for the donations. It's actually pretty cute. She designed it herself.
It is. It's a handmade box. It's very nice.
And the socks may be gently used or new and can range in the size from infant to adult for both male and female. And Courtney does appreciate any socks that anybody donates. We've had a few calls regarding